the results of these 5 states as per our pre-poll survey in a moment. Let me just go straight and introduce our panel. Our guests who are joining me, Ajit Kumar Jha of India Today, who's been looking at all these numbers. Appreciate your joining us, Ajit Jha. Also joining us is Manisha Priyam, one of the country's leading political scientists and someone who looks at all these states and state elections very carefully, part of our expert panel. Appreciate your joining us, ma'am. And Javed Ansari, executive editor at India Today Television, is also with us. We're also joined politically by GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, himself a pollster one time, now a spokesperson of the party. And since we are looking at Uttarakhand, I'm also joined by Kishore Upadhyay of the Congress. Its state party president there is joining me from Uttarakhand. Appreciate all of you joining us at the moment. Let's turn straight to the state of Uttarakhand. Why is Uttarakhand important? One of the few states with a direct BJP Congress fight. It's a key state for the Congress, which has been losing ground countrywide. The removal of the Uttarakhand government under President's rule will now be tested in the court of the people. Just a quick word of the survey itself. The survey was conducted across 70 assembly constituencies. The total sample size in Uttarakhand was 3,955. The pre-poll survey was conducted from 5th of September to 5th of October. Okay, let's go straight then to my first big question that I want to raise. Who is the best chief minister for Uttarakhand? Take a look at the numbers now. So let's take a look then at who is the most favored candidate for chief minister of Uttarakhand if elections are held today. BC Khanduri, General Khanduri of the BJP, someone who's been chief minister in the past, was unceremoniously removed by the BJP, has 49% of the voters favoring him. Relative clean image of General Khanduri, a former surface transport minister in the Vajpayee government. At number 2 is the incumbent Harish Rawat, 41% of the Congress. Remember, this is a state with a clear fight between these two leaders. The rest are smaller leaders, and Ramesh Pokhriyal, another former chief minister of Uttar Pradesh of the BJP, has just 4% of the vote. And B.S. Koshyari, who's also been chief minister of the BJP, has 3% of the vote. And Satpal Maharaj, who rebelled from the Congress, has 2% of the vote. So clearly those are our 5 top contenders, and the big news that's coming in is that General Khanduri is top of the pops at the moment. You've tracked General Khanduri for several years, Javed Ansari. Is he the kind of person who has this image, at least, particularly of being an incorruptible or relatively incorruptible leader, someone who has the image of a man of honesty?
Absolutely, a man of honesty and a man who can deliver. And a lot of people were wondering then, and have been wondering now, as to the wisdom or the lack of it behind the BJP's decision to summarily sack him and replace him with somebody else. And that in many ways cost the BJP. Now the BJP belatedly, wisdom appears to have dawned on them, and they are now falling back on Khanduri. There are many who believe, had they done this earlier, had they continued with him, perhaps they would not have met the fate that they met in the last.
Can I get a quick reaction from you, GBL Narasimha Rao? Is General Khanduri your choice for the chief minister? He will be joining us later on the program. But is he your choice for the chief minister, or is this also a state like UP where you do not want to have a chief ministerial candidate who could only open up the divisions that exist in your party?
No, Rajdeep, whether to project any leader is a decision that the party's highest decision-making body, the parliamentary board, makes. But in a state which is going to polls, to have a leader of our party commanding a much higher rating than the incumbent chief minister, who is the official candidate for chief ministership of the Congress party, itself is a very, very positive news for the BJP. And that certainly clearly shows, it's an indication on the nature of projection that you are going to give ahead. It rarely happens in a state where you have an opposition leader who is not declared as a who is not declared as a leader candidate, as a chief ministerial candidate, commanding the kind of ratings that you are showing. So it's certainly a huge positive for the BJP in going forward in this election.
Mr. Upadhyay, you want to quickly react to that? There is some merit in what GVL Narasimha Rao is saying, that clearly they have a face who, even if he's not being projected at the moment as the chief minister, commands a much higher rating than the incumbent chief minister Harish Rawat of the Congress.
I must congratulate you, Rajdeep ji. Access and India Today is doing wonderful work You have predicted Bihar and Bengal very well. So whatever you are saying, I think it may be correct. But if you see the last elections in 2012, Khanduri is Zaruri, and what happened in Kota, he lost by more than 5,000 votes. So I don't think that, and another thing, if you see the practice in BJP, he is octogenarian leader, whether they will allow him to come to Uttarakhand, I don't think so. You see the case of Gujarat also, they have removed their chief minister because he was more than 75 years old. So I think Khanduri is out.
That's an interesting point. There is that 75-year-old rule. I didn't think about that. GVL Narasimha Rao, quick response.
Is the 70 chance for Mr. Khanduri?
GVL Narasimha Rao, is the 75-year-old rule applicable or not?
No, Rajdeep, I think Mr. Khanduri is currently a Lok Sabha member, one of the 5 Lok Sabha MPs for the party from Uttarakhand.
Yes.
And as I said, a leadership decision regarding a chief minister, whether it needs to be made before the election, after the election, is a call that the party's parliamentary board makes based on the overall circumstances.
Is there a 75-year-old rule,
You have a bouquet of popular leaders in your party.
Is there a 75-year-old rule or not?
You see, there is no stated rule as such, but then that's been the practice in the recent times, and whether that practice will be followed in every case, whether exceptions can be made, that's the authority of the party. This is not a directive of the Election Commission of India.
No,
it's not mandated by law. It's a
Okay, just a minute. I just want to get quick responses before I take a break, because one of the factors that General Khanduri has, he'll join us later on the show, as I said, is that he's seen as a man of integrity, and many believe corruption will be a big factor in this election. There have been accusations of corruption over flood relief. There have been accusations on corruption on other issues. The Chief Minister Harish Rawat was caught in a sting operation. Do you believe that corruption is a big issue, particularly in a small state like Uttarakhand, where resources are scarce?
I do think that this is a very big issue. The reason why the AAP has come up in the way that it did, and of course we can laugh right now, because all the 3 major contenders are ridden by factionalism, whether it be the BJP or the Congress or the AAP, but it has been corruption.
But AAP is not contesting Uttarakhand.
No, I know that, but I know. The big issue is that the BJP's last rule, led by Mr. Ramesh Nishank, that's led to corruption of a scale that's unimaginable. The entire topography of the region, the kind of development that they have had, they've made it a very precarious land. So it's people who are perpetually being thrown to the forces of nature, and you can see the land grabbers, the sharks. The big corruption, for example, is something that the common man feels. It's not the small corruption of the policeman, that is the Aam Aadmi corruption, but the big corruption of development that's really jolted the state.
It's an interesting point. It's an interesting point, because we are seeing this in other small states as well. We've seen it in Goa. We've seen it that corruption becomes an issue because it affects the common man. Is Uttarakhand a classic case in that instance? A state which is less than 20 years ago, virtually every government there has been accused of corruption, Khanduri being one exception.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. In fact, it's a typical bipolar state where there is anti-incumbency. You know, BJP wins once, Congress wins once.
That's right. No one has won twice in a row.
That's right. And Khanduri has been chief minister twice, once for a few months. And both the times he has shown extraordinary integrity, very, very clean image, and a lot of development work while he was the chief minister. So both corruption and development are big issues in this election.
Pre-poll survey with 100 days to go for elections in 5 big battleground states, the next big battle in Indian politics. And today we are focusing on 3 of the smaller states, and we've started with Uttarakhand, a state that's been in the news for a variety of reasons in recent months. Who's winning the battle for Uttarakhand? Let's bring you the big numbers on the India Today Axis survey right away. Take a look at what are the big numbers that we have for you on Uttarakhand. If elections are held today, this is what we are saying for Uttarakhand. Vote share, we are saying, for the BJP is 43%. Remember, 2-horse state, 43% is a relatively good number. Against that is the Congress party, which is about 4% behind, 39%, and a 4% difference in a 2-horse race can give a particular party a majority. Others, important always in Uttarakhand in a small state, are 18%. They include parties like the Bahujan Samaj Party. How is this all translating into seats? In the 70-member assembly, this is what we are saying. The BJP, we believe, could have the edge in Uttarakhand with 38 to 43 seats that could take it above the halfway mark of 35. So clearly it is the edge to the BJP as per the India Today Axis poll. The Congress is behind 26 to 31. Almost a reversal of what happened 5 years ago is what we are predicting for the state of Uttarakhand. Others 1 to 4. The Congress had relied on them in the past. Maybe the BJP won't even need their benefit if these numbers stay. So clearly at the moment it's advantage to the BJP, and the man of the moment could be General B.C. Khanduri. He's been Chief Minister twice, was removed in 2009 after the BJP lost the Lok Sabha elections. Let's go to the man of the moment. Appreciate your joining us, General Khanduri. Am I speaking to the next Chief Minister of Uttarakhand as per our polls? Are you going to return to power again, or will the 75-year-old rear rule apply?
Well, I do hope that BJP comes to power. Not because I have to become Chief Minister or anybody else, but the state of administration in Uttarakhand is so horrible that it is beyond imagination, and I pray to God that somehow the Congress party, the way it is ruling, it is taught a lesson by the people and it doesn't come to power again, and BJP comes to power. I hope they also follow the developmental activities, which was the initial charter of Atalji when Uttarakhand was formed, Uttaranchal was formed, and certainly we need relief from the Congress parties.
General Khanduri,
horrible, terrible.
Sir, sorry to intervene, it almost sounds as if this is another state which is a case of a chota chor and a bada chor. That everyone is saying, okay, we had problem, the other is worse. Okay, there was corruption in our regime, but the corruption has got worse in the next regime. Is that how you see it? That people are being asked to choose between two combinations, tried and tested, neither of whom have really done any distinguished work for Uttarakhand?
No, not at all, sir. I'm not saying chota chor. There is a professional chor and a person who may have been inefficient, but who person may have sometimes done wrong things. But the party at the national level and the people at the local level and the party at the local did try. I am not saying that we are all Dharma judicists. There are people amongst us who are not good, but the basic policy, the central leadership ensures that we remain in power, and I can say for myself that whenever we try to do something wrong, it is pointed out. The trouble with the Congress is there is nobody to check anybody the way things are happening in Uttarakhand, and that is the difference. I am not at all saying they are big chore and we are small chore. I am only saying you see the result of last 5 years, and you also please compare with whatever good we were able to do in whatever BJP time.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. General Khanduri, as always a pleasure talking to you. It's been a long time since one spoke to you, the former Surface Transport Minister and a Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. I appreciate your joining us. Let me just tell you what our India Today Axis poll is saying in terms of the government performance. And there is something maybe in what General Khanduri is saying about the performance of the government. Satisfied in terms of roads, 53%, dissatisfied, 47%. Electricity, not bad at all. 80% saying the government has done a good job, 20% dissatisfied. Drinking water also 66% to 34%. But then the trouble starts. Health, 43% said satisfied, 57% dissatisfied. Education was better, 67 to 32%. Anti-incumbency level is 43% to 61%, which is not as bad as certain other states that we polled at the moment is. How do you interpret that, Ajit Jha, in terms of the numbers? Are we to interpret this as high level of anti-incumbency? Normally above 60% is a high level. But Harish Rawat is not rated as badly as General Khanduri was pointing out there, saying this government is useless. It's a horrible government.
Well, you know, several indicators. I mean, corruption, we already discussed. Development and unemployment are issues which are big issues, which our survey shows. And in that, the performance of Harish Rawat government is very questionable. And the thing is, I think it is quite high anti-incumbency, because do realize it's a bipolar.
So once it crosses 50%, you will always have at least one in every
winning,
two. The other one winning. Yes.
And the other point is the fact that Khanduri is coming with an absolute majority. You know, that's the other interesting thing. It's not going to be an unstable government.
The voters don't decide where to vote only in terms of doing dipstick surveys. They look at the body politic. Look at the body politic of the Congress party. Here was a Harish Rawat, outsmarted, factionalism at its best, his government to the rocks. the voters perhaps assess that he is not a man who is going to come back. Clearly, your figures show us quite clearly that the dissatisfaction is not very high. So that's not the reason why he would be going out. If indeed he would be going out as per your survey, then the reasons would be that the Congress has not been able to put up the show that it should have. And remember, the big thing that the people are comparing in Uttarakhand, therefore, is chief ministerial candidates one against the other. If it were a contest between Khanduri, Nishank and Harish Rawat, the 1, 2 and 3 would clearly have shown you that Khanduri won, Harish Rawat perhaps 2, and Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank
Can I for a
3.
moment? Can I stop you for a moment? Because one of the problems, the Congress was elected in 2012, and then there was the major
The earthquake.
Yeah.
And the cloudburst. There was the major cloudburst that took place in Uttarakhand. Villages were washed away, and there was a general sense that the Congress had failed. Vijay Bahuguna was removed almost a year later.
Yeah.
The question is that the Congress has also not been able to deliver. Is this another state where the Congress has been unable to deliver to the expectations of the people? And Uttarakhand has a tradition of changing governments every 5 years.
Rajdeep, perhaps if Harish Rawat had been chief minister in the first instance, I think the Congress party made the cardinal mistake of pitchforking somebody like Vijay Bahuguna almost from the wilderness, making him the chief minister. He was, he was just not up to the task. He mishandled the earthquake and the cloudburst and the relief work. And let's not forget, all the corruption charges were leveled at him and his son, Saket Bahuguna. I'm not saying whether they were right or wrong, but the allegations leveled by
But hold on. There are serious charges even against Mr. Rawat now. There are charges that Mr. Rawat has been taking money from the liquor business there. There are charges that he, to stay on in power, was buying off MLAs. These charges were made against him.
The same charges were made against, barring Mr. Khanduri, all the other chief ministers. So corruption, I'm not so sure. The Congress party would have stood a much better chance. They would have been in a much better position had Harish Rawat been given a free run and a 5-year run.
And a 5-year run. You believe the mistake they made was to get Vijay Bahuguna in the first place as the chief minister of Uttarakhand. Let's just take a look at Harish Rawat's performance as per the India Today Axis poll. Good, 40% say good. Bad is 48%. Don't know is 12%. So 40% in the Game of Thrones are saying good, 48% bad, 12% don't know. Who is responsible for Uttarakhand's crisis? 38% said Congress, 20% said rebel Congress MLAs who left the party, and 17% said don't know. View on removal of Harish Rawat's government. Right decision 31%, wrong decision 41%, don't know was 28%. Okay, let me take that to GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL Narasimha Rao, it's very interesting. This is a state where you really can't claim to have the upper hand on corruption, because many of your leaders have also had serious allegations for corruption. You've borrowed leaders from the Congress to try and bring down the Harish Rawat government. Was that a mistake that you made? That you're in your haste to bring down that government, you brought in President's rule, which was later on then struck down by the Supreme Court. Have you messed up and created some kind of a self-goal to give some opportunity?
Democracy.
No, just a minute. Have you given GVL Narasimha Rao an opening to Harish Rawat? Otherwise, this state was definitely going towards you.
No, Rajdeep, I think internal fights in the Congress party, I think they have to mind their own business. We cannot be credited for their internal troubles. And but the results of your poll certainly do not vindicate what you are saying. The results of the poll show a big positive rating for the BJP, a huge anti-incumbency against Harish Rawat, and a huge positive rating for the BJP leadership. All this at a time when Congress is going through a terminal decline all over the country, and BJP is experiencing a nationwide resurgence under Prime Minister Mr. Modi. So you cannot look at any state in isolation also. One, Harish Rawat is pulling it down, and Rahul Gandhi is really dragging him down further. Whereas the BJP, there is a positive sense at the state level, and Prime Minister Mr. Modi's popularity is really pulling it far up. So certainly everything is going well for the BJP in the state of Uttarakhand, and our strategy has simply worked.
So you don't have any second thoughts. You don't have any second thoughts about taking.
No, Harish Rawat. Just one second.
Yes.
Yeah, Harish Rawat is on sting operations, having made every attempt to buy off MLAs. So he cannot claim to be a holy cow.
The advantage in Uttarakhand is clearly with the Bharatiya Janata Party. If these numbers remain, another Congress-ruled state will go into the kitty of the BJP. Okay, let's then move on to the next big state, the state of Goa on the Game of Thrones. Remember, Goa also going to the polls in early 2017. The countdown there has begun. Why is Goa important first? It's important for the BJP, which made a breakthrough here in 2012. It won a majority for the first time. The key state for the Aam Aadmi Party, which wants to grow beyond Delhi. It's important for them both, Punjab and Goa. It's also a poster state for the majority-minority amity, because remember, it's a state with a large minority Catholic population. There's also a battle within the Sangh Parivar between the local RSS and the BJP that is brewing there, and that could hold some ominous portents. The survey conducted across 40 assembly constituencies, total sample size of the survey is 2015. Remember, it's a small state, and between September 5 and October 5. Okay, let's give you the big numbers. What is the Goa vote share as well as the vote change? This is what we should be telling you at the moment. Vote share first. 38% BJP, 34% Congress, Aam Aadmi Party 16%, others 12%. So BJP with its ally, the Maharashtrawadi Gomantak Party, has the edge in Goa as per the India Today Access pre-poll survey. How is this translating into seats? Remember, 40 seats on offer in Goa. The BJP has 17 to 21, we believe. They would get between 17 to 21, touching almost a majority, down from last time, but still within touching distance of a majority. The Congress not doing too badly, 13 to 17. The Aam Aadmi Party, as per the survey, 1 to 3, others 3 to 5. So as per the survey, the Aam Aadmi Party is still struggling to register its presence in Goa in terms of seats. Let's go then straight to GVL Narasimha Rao, is still with us, but I'm also joined now by Oscar Rebello of the Congress Party and by Oscar Rebello of the Aam Aadmi Party in Goa and Shantaram Naik of the Congress Party. Oscar Rebello, it's very clear at the moment that for all the noise that the Aam Aadmi Party has been making in Goa, translating that popular appeal on the ground into seats, or the noise into seats, is not so easy. Our survey is still putting you at only 1 to 3.
Rajdeep, I remember there was so much noise in the media during the 2015 election in Delhi, and despite the noise from the media, the Aam Aadmi Party, which was given something like 23 or 25 seats by you guys, ended up with 67 seats in Delhi. So frankly, I think this is still the mood of the state. This is still, you're basically judging a Karan Johar trailer and telling us what the movie is going to look like when you still do not know what the star cast is. You still do not know what the players are going to be on the ground. There are so many other imponderables that are there, and so therefore we wouldn't take this as the kind of fait accompli, as it were, because we know that on the ground there is a tremendous amount of goodwill and support for the Aam Aadmi Party. Clearly we are greenhorns in the field. We are trying to do it as honestly and sincerely as possible, but we believe that people are connecting to us, and there is a very, very good chance that certainly as the months progress or the weeks progress to election day, we should really be making inroads. So we are pretty confident. You're still watching the trailer, picture abhi bhi baki hai.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, please tell me, why is it that in Goa at the moment, there is a sense that even the BJP is facing a big fight within? The RSS has come out strongly, or the local RSS has come out strongly against you on the issue of language. They want Konkani schools to be given completely preferential treatment when it comes to giving benefits. Let's be clear. Is the BJP also at war within? And are you also finding within the so-called Hindu vote bank of the BJP a decline? And because issues like beef ban have been raised by the BJP at the center, it's affecting your Catholic vote, a part of which had come to you 5 years ago. So the BJP also is in a bit of trouble in Goa.
No, Rajdeep, please be fair and give me time, because you've given an upstart party which is not even seeming to be in reckoning in the state. You've given them a lot of time.
Yes.
People have seen people of Delhi have seen what a mess they have made of Delhi, notwithstanding the tall statements and claims, the kind of rape cases, corruption cases, misgovernance, the manner in which public money was used for political purposes. People of Delhi, not just Delhi, people of India are tired of this party called Aam Aadmi Party. And if Goans with the level of literacy that they have will not make the mistake of giving an entry into this party, I don't think they will open an account. But as far as the state is concerned, let's talk about the poll that you have conducted. Yes. Your poll is giving our chief ministerial, our incumbent chief minister and ex-chief minister Mr. Parrikar, between two of them, we are garnering a 50% share of the popular choice for chief minister. That's a big number in a state which does not give any big majority.
So you don't think Mr. Parrikar needs to go back?
Even in terms of seats,
so there is no question.
Not only...
Sir, you didn't answer my question. I asked you whether you are losing.
I will answer this question.
Are you losing any of your votes, both from the Catholic community because of issues like beef ban and within the Hindu community because of the language issue?
No. Not at all, because you see, your own poll gives us 38% vote share, and the vote share that we polled in last assembly elections is 34.7. So you are actually showing an enhanced support base for the BJP. So we don't need to get carried away by certain news items that get published in the media, that get a lot of traction in the media. That does not seem to influence the voting choices in the state. The BJP continues to be the darling of the people of Goa, and our chief minister and ex-chief minister seem to be running away with all popularity ratings. Mr. Manohar Parrikar is sure to campaign extensively in Goa, and he will be like a star campaigner for the BJP in Goa, and he will pull away a large section of the votes, which even in the wake of surgical strikes, after which the Aam Aadmi Party had personally targeted Mr. Parrikar. They filed a sedition complaint against him. Even I have been added in that complaint for your information. This sedition complaint will only haunt the AP Aam Aadmi Party in Goa, and Mr. Parrikar and the BJP and Parsekar will come out in flying colors in Goa.
I've given you exactly the same time that I gave Oscar Rebello, in case you make more accusations against me of giving more time to the other side. Let's be very clear. But I want to get a sense. This is a state with 40 seats, 30 seats which are often closely fought with a lot of strong local candidates. Surgical strikes was mentioned there. Do you believe that Mr. Parrikar's image has been enhanced as a result of surgical strike, particularly for a small state like Goa? He now might look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you believe that helps? Or do you believe local issues, culture, beef ban, are issues which the BJP should be conscious of?
Rajdeep, in the short run, I think surgical strikes right now, if you do a poll, certainly helps the opinion, the popularity ratings. But in the long run, maybe in 3 months' time, these things will pass away, and as you said, local issues, roads, development, corruption becomes an issue. But let me point out two very important things. Narasimha Rao is actually an ex-psephologist. Take the popular vote of the Congress and BJP. 36% to the 34% to the Congress, 16% to the AAP. That together is 50% of the vote. 12% more than the BJP. So what Narasimha Rao was saying, that if you didn't, this upstart party as he called the AAP, if it wasn't there, maybe the BJP would have lost this election.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. You're saying that the AAP is taking the Congress vote, and we don't know whether it's taking the entire Congress vote. Let's be fair. I think the sense, Manisha Priyam, is that there is a sense of tiredness between these two major parties because they've had the same old faces. But the BJP is clearly ahead again of the Congress in the game. If it's Congress versus BJP, it's the BJP ahead, like in Uttarakhand. So clearly in smaller states, the BJP resonates at the moment in direct fights better than the Congress.
Yes, it does. And I think the BJP...
is the AAP damaging the Congress much more than it is damaging the BJP?
There are two things here. One, the BJP has a very different type of model. Much of the satisfaction levels that you are saying are works that were started under Manohar Parrikar.
Yes.
Mr. Parsekar has not been a very effective or a well-known chief minister. He's not a face that's really...
Even though his popularity is not bad as per a poll, but he's seen as a relatively innocuous chief minister.
Exactly. Now, what is it that the BJP is trying now? Remember, at this time as we meet, the BRICS summit is happening there. The BJP is pulling all its efforts out to show off Goa as a global destination, BJP as the party that can globalize that piece of geography. Quite in contrast to that, the main challenge to the BJP has come not from the Congress party, but from Mr. Vijay Sardesai, who in the assembly, if you look at the assembly debates in the last 2 years, the person who's been taking the BJP on the floor of the house and indeed outside has not been the Congress
That's
party.
right. He's my namesake, but he's not. All I want to say is that he was an independent candidate. He's now an independent candidate, moved away from the Congress party, which is a good point to take to Shantaram Naik.
Won all the municipal seats.
Yeah, but the point, Mr. Shantaram Naik, is that the Congress party has scored self-goals. You still have the same old faces. Where are the new young faces in Goa? You should be taking advantage of, of any anti-incumbency against the BJP. You are not getting that.
I can assure you, Rajdeep,
Yes.
that we will have at least 25 new faces in an assembly of 40. You will see when the tickets are announced.
You will get new faces.
Now, as I rightly pointed out,
yes,
certain regional issues are very important. See, special status which was promised by Parrikar is nowhere to be seen and taken a U-turn. Nationalization of 6 rivers.
Do you believe that Mr. Parrikar has become a national face?
The wishes of the people.
Do you become Mr. Parrikar has now become a national face? Will it benefit the BJP
so
or
question
not?
is, proposal to grab land in Goa, regional plan failure, investment board scams, and secondly, saffronization of logo. See, international festival, international
Rajdeep, can I intervene?
Seminar,
yes,
which is being held in Goa in the name of BRICS. What is the logo? Logo is lotus, is a BJP symbol, is the logo of an international event.
Okay.
Can you imagine this?
Sir,
this
every time I ask you a question on the Congress, sir, every time I answer your question on Congress, you are targeting the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. I just want to know from you, Oscar Rebello, if I put those numbers, if Aam Aadmi Party, Congress, Vijay Sardesai's Goa forward were to tie up, you would defeat the BJP. Why don't you tie up? Why am I to understand that the Aam Aadmi Party believe that everyone else is untouchable? Who is your main enemy?
No, Rajdeep, I think that you have to understand that the Aam Aadmi Party has taken its birth by protesting against the UPA misrule of corruption and scams, etc. And you cannot ask us to now go and shake hands with enemy number one when it started off. The point what I'm trying to make, Rajdeep, is you must understand what Aam Aadmi Party stands for. At least in Goa, I'm certain it stands for that. It stands for a completely different electoral brand of politics. We cannot play the same game that the Congress and the BJP and the traditional parties play of doling out money, doling out patronage and using muscle power to come to power. If we try that game, you can be rest assured
but our
you
poll
won't
is
even
showing
get
you're
that
just getting 1 to 3 seats.
You'll get it 0%.
Why is our poll then saying that you're just getting 1 to 3 seats?
Rajdeep, can I come in?
You know your poll, Rajdeep, your poll is so early. Rajdeep, your poll is so early. You still don't have the players on the ground. You must understand that in Goa, whatever was promised, both by the Congress, of course the Congress is playing holier than thou now. From 2007 to 2012, they went on a rampage as far as mining, as far as land issues, as far as corruption was concerned, and that's the reason they were kicked out. And many of us supported Mr. Manohar Parrikar in 2012. I'm ready to say this on national television. In 2012, thinking that the BJP would bring a new era of governance. But there has been misrule, there has been misgovernance, corruption, and everything just like UPA won or the Congress in 2007. And so therefore, the solution that the people of Goa are looking for is the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm convinced.
Yes, I'm giving you 30 seconds, GVL Narasimha Rao, to respond. 30 seconds, please.
Yes. Rajdeep, the AAP spokesperson, is playing the old record of 2012 and 2013. People of India and people of Goa or people of Delhi are no longer going to be fooled by these grandiose claims. People have now come to know that AAP is full of filth, AAP is full of, Aam Aadmi Party is full of sleaze, Aam Aadmi Party is full of misogynistic characters.
There is no corruption in the BJP, sir.
AAP today,
sir, I have no doubt that the Aam Aadmi Party has much to answer for. But at least as far as Goa is concerned, sir, the fact is both the Congress and the BJP have ruled Goa and there has been serious corruption on both the regimes. So, while the Aam Aadmi Party may have much to answer for, and you're right about that, please don't say that the regimes of the Congress and the BJP have not been corrupt in Goa.
The people know this about the corruption. The politicians don't know it and the politicians don't know it.
He cannot. People know, and that's how That's how people are giving a thumbs up for the BJP in Goa.
Okay.
That's why the Aam Aadmi Party is not getting the numbers they are hoping to get.
Okay, I have to, yes, quickly.
Because you cannot fool people all the
is
time.
clearly counterpoise to the BJP in the sense that the AAP is clearly looking at the lower socio-economic classes.
No, the AAP is also seen to look only at the Catholic community. They are focusing too much on that, and therefore there's a polarization of the vote, which is going to benefit the BJP.
So, in a sense, if there's somebody who's looking at polarized votes rather than the type of coalition that the BJP won on, clearly the BJP is at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the AAP, and that's something the BJP cannot keep ignoring. To have a completely contraposed agenda, focusing really on the slums, focusing really on the lower socioeconomic classes.
But the Congress is saying they're the only party that reaches out both to Catholics and Hindus. The BJP today is seen predominantly now dominating in the Hindu areas, and there is the Aam Aadmi Party which seems to be focusing in the Salset, the Catholic area. Are we seeing a divide in Goa between South and North?
No, Rajdeep, we are very much all over Goa. I disagree with that. We are very much all over Goa, Rajdeep.
That's what
not only in Salset.
Not as much in the north.
There is most of the noise that happens in
Not
Salset.
as much in the north.
Okay.
It happens all in Goa.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Small state, but lots to discuss.
But we are certainly making inroads.
We will wait and see. It's a small state with lots to discuss about, because there have been various developments in Goa in various ways in recent times. Thanks very much for joining us. Clearly advantage to the BJP, MGP combined as we head into elections in Goa. On the